Hey y'all, welcome to Midweek Minis, the show where you get to ask us questions and we tell you personal stories that you've told us already. I'm Mitch Lawrence and that's my wife Leah Lawrence.
Hey y'all.
And we are super excited to get another episode of this here show done because we just went to our P.O. box and we found out that some listeners sent us some birthday mail.
They sure did.
That's exciting. You'll get a bigger shout out on the main episode this week, but who was it that sent it, Leah?
Ezra.
Oh, okay.
The same person who sent us the peach rings.
Yeah, those peach rings. Oh, God.
Yes.
Those were so good.
Oh, what a day.
Well, thank you so much for that. We got a real cool book and a really funny game. We'll talk about it, like I said, in the main episode, so as to not beleaguer the point of getting to the personal story. You ready to go, Leah?
Sure.
All right. Was beleaguer the point the correct phrase to use there?
Sure, fine. Whatever you feel.
Excellent.
You do you, my love. This personal story actually comes from Caitlin, who we actually met in person in D.C. when we were there.
Uh-huh. That was fun.
All right. So this is the email. It says, "Hey, y'all.
Hey.
I didn't think I would have another listener story, but I got one.
Yay.
I've been suffering from sleep paralysis for a few years now.
Oh, no.
Usually I just wake up but can't move, and I feel like something is holding me down and I'm frozen in my bed. But sometimes I see things. Usually if I see things, I see them up on the ceiling, and it's usually a giant spider or a dark mist. Last night / early this morning is the scariest to date. I have serious anxiety and starting to shake just writing this. So, here we go.
Yay.
I am not sure what time it was this morning when all of this happened, but I woke up at some point and I felt the sleep paralysis coming on, and I saw 2 small children with dark eyes grinning and staring at me. I couldn't move. I couldn't look away. My whole body started shaking. My heart started pounding, and all I could do was cry. I woke up and my husband, sorry.
Okay.
I woke up my husband once I could move again, and the children were gone. My husband grabbed me and buried me in his chest so I couldn't see anything around me until I eventually fell back asleep. Help! LOL. I'm not sure if it is my house that could have something in it or if it's me that's haunted. I love the podcast and loved meeting y'all in DC earlier this month. Heart emoji, Caitlin.
Yay. Well, we enjoyed it too.
Holy shit, sleep paralysis scares me. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want it to happen to me. And especially seeing like little creepy kids, fuck that shit.
I've had instances of that in my life. It's been a very, very long time. But I remember them from high school where you are awake and you know you're awake, but you're still actively dreaming. And she's right, you can't move. It's laying there in bed and you know you're awake, but you also know that your brain is putting these images in front of you. And they're not real, but they still scare the fuck out of you. Yep. Because I've had that. I really have had that happen. It used to happen when I was a teenager.
See, I have night terrors, which once I'm awake, I know I'm awake and it's not a problem. But yeah, I understand like that whole nightmare fuel. But if I were awake and knew that I was awake and was seeing shit, no.
It happened to me. I remember very distinctly many times of not dreaming, but having this happen where I was awake, but I could not move my body.
Yeah.
Where my eyes were open and I was looking around and I couldn't muster the energy to move.
I could not deal with that. I would be one messed up bitch. It would not be cute.
It's not comfortable.
No.
It's very uncomfortable.
That whole being locked inside your body feeling that she's describing gives me like panicky feelings just reading it. Like
it's miserable.
It's not like I said, and the thing is like from a scientific perspective, hey, this is something neurological. It's going on in my brain. It happens to a lot of people. But God damn it, if I would not be the spooked, most like sage me up kind of person, I couldn't deal with it. Just please, brain, never, ever do that to me.
Please. If I could make a suggestion, Caitlin, go to a sleep center and get a sleep study done. Because it helped me. I wasn't having dreams and stuff like that, but I definitely had sleep apnea. And I've slept well every night ever since when I use my CPAP. So that may not be it. It may not be breathing or anything, but the sleep center does other stuff besides sleep apnea.
Like I said, I really don't know that they know the specific cause of stuff like that, but it is a very well documented medical problem.
Yeah, it sucks.
But the scary part comes when, like I said, you're still dreaming when your eyes are open, and that's terrifying.
Yeah, it was. Like I said, I've experienced it, and I haven't in a long time. Fingers crossed, don't want to again.
Burgle.
Yeah, it's rough. I also used to have the kind of dreams where I would dream that my alarm goes off, and I wake up, and then my alarm goes off, and I wake up, and then my alarm goes off, and I wake up, and then my alarm... Like, it would happen 4, 5, 6 times, and then my alarm would go off, and I would wake up. It was like... I was incepting myself.
Yeah.
Dream inside a dream inside a dream.
The worst terrifying dreams for me is like the feeling that you have to pee, and then you dream that you pee, and then you wake up and you're like, no, I actually have to pee. Please don't pee on myself. Like, I don't know if you ever have that dream.
I do. But
I've had that dream frequently, and it's awful.
I have that dream because I wake up enough in my head to say, I don't want to get up and pee. I'm going back to sleep.
Yeah.
And then I go, I'm probably going to pee on myself. Well, to take it off of dreaming for a second, the absolute worst feeling in the world, and I will fight anybody that disagrees with me, the worst feeling in the world is being awoken by stomach pain and having to shit immediately. That is you feel like you're dying because the pain has to be bad enough to wake you up. And goddamn if it hasn't happened to me a few times in my life. And I go, good God, what did I eat? Probably nothing. I'm just sick. But
I've woken up throwing up, but I don't know that I've ever woken up pooping.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't in the act of pooping. I'm telling you that the pain was so bad. I felt like my insides were coming out of me.
I understand, but yeah.
And I had to hunch over and get to the bathroom. And then even while it's happening, while I'm pooping, it still hurts like a motherfucker. And then it feels better. And I'm like, well, I can't go to sleep for another hour. That was great.
That was way too much information.
Y'all, if anyone else has had that happen, you know. You know that it is the worst feeling in the world to wake up with your stomach feeling like it's ripping itself out of your body.
I don't know. Having an IUD inserted is pretty much the most mind-wrenching pain I've ever been in, so.
I will definitely put it up against that. Let's do it. Childbirth and waking up pooping.
That's not childbirth, but it was someone sticking something through my uterus, and that was not pleasant.
Gross.
Wow. Super tea in my corner right there.
There we go. You ever woken up to getting an IUD inserted?
No, that would be awful. Also a little rapey.
Well, not if they put you out for it anyway.
They don't put you out for it.
All right. Let's get into some questions.
Okay.
And you know what? This is from Caitlin.
All right. Awesome. Hey, girl.
This feels like this question was attached to another one because I'm pretty sure it was. I think it was, what podcasts are you listening to right now? It's in the bag somewhere and I can't find it because this question just says, how many are you subscribed to at this moment?
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
So I think you may have cut it incorrectly.
How many podcasts am I subscribed to right now? Well, let me go to my app.
5 pages on Google podcasts, but I don't listen to most of them. Like, I've just subscribed to them. So it's 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 full pages of 12 plus 4. So 48, 52.
I have 16.
Nice.
And I actually listened to all of those. So, did you want to go ahead and do the ones that we recommend?
Yes, we can do that. The ones that we're into, that we're listening to right now, because we'll get to it and we'll, just throw it away when we get to it.
Okay.
Go ahead, Leah.
So, the most recent thing that so I'm really into fiction podcasts, especially spooky story, kind of like narrative based things. I like that a lot. And there's a newer podcast. I believe it started, this year in January. So it's almost a year old now. But it is called the McElwraith Statements. and that's spelled McLLWRAITH, and it's done by a woman who, like, she's a writer, and she's sort of converted some of her novels into a podcast, and she's I think she's Scottish. I don't know. Maybe it's, I don't know. She's got an accent that is absolutely delightful, and the stories are really good, and it's like an ongoing narrative about like a paranormal investigator, and I highly, 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 highly recommend it, because they don't have near as many views as they deserve, because it's a really good story, and I'm really enjoying it. So that one specifically, if you like narrative podcasts.
Yay.
Obviously, we've got friends that do podcasts, so I really enjoy the Associates Anonymous podcast. They're fun people. Go listen to them. They're great. You've heard about them on the show.
Yeah.
I really like Paranormal Karen, because she's absolutely hilarious, and she interviews a lot of people that are very into different aspects of like paranormal stuff, and I just find people that are passionate about stuff like that very interesting to listen to. And like I said, she's really funny. And actually, one of our listeners has a podcast called I Have a Strange Story that is really good. Highly recommend that. It's like they read listener stories exclusively, and it's really good. And they just had their first year anniversary, so happy anniversary to them. And obviously I'm subscribed to several like Parcast podcasts that I like, and Death in the Afternoon. If you're a deathling, hey y'all, me too.
I don't know
it's
what
a great
means.
The Ask
That's okay. That's okay. Continue.
Ask a Mortician from YouTube has a podcast with two colleagues, and it's called Death in the Afternoon, and it's just a really interesting show. I like it a lot. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you done?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. I'll go with. Okay, like I said, I'm subscribed to 52.
Jesus.
I keep up with them just to make sure there's nothing super fun, I want to listen to. Ones I listen to regularly every time they release something are Harmontown, but that is ending in December. Like there are 2 or 3 left. So that sucks. What's my life going to be now?
Listening to good quality content.
I listen to Doug Loves Movies every time they release an episode. What Really Happened every time it's released. Let me see, what else? Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend.
That's a good show.
And the 3 Questions with Andy Richter. Swindled. I've listened to almost all of How Did This Get Played? It's a newer podcast where 2 writers / comedians / video game workers, they used to work in the video game industry. They play shitty video games and do it. It's a play on the podcast How Did This Get Made, which is a movie podcast, which I listen to not regularly, but when they do something fun. Okay, others I listen to, but not on a regular basis, would be Off Book, the improvised musical podcast. That is fantastic if you haven't listened to it. It's so fucking good.
It's really funny.
It's so good. I recommend listening to their live ones more than their studio ones. They're always live, but sometimes they have an audience in a theater, and sometimes they're in the podcast studio. So, if that makes sense, they completely make up a musical off the top of their head for an hour every episode. It is so much fun. It really is. Let me see. I listened to You Made It Weird, the Pete Holmes podcast, when he has someone fun on that I like. Like recently he had on Bob Saget. I listened to that whole thing. It was just awesome. I love Bob Saget though. I'll listen to WTF when Mark Maron has someone fun on. The Rewatchables when they talk about a movie I like. What else do I listen to, Leah?
I have more.
Getting Better with Ron Funches.
I was about to say, I forgot to say Ron Funches because I love his podcast.
And I listened to ours before. I listened to Southern Spirits and Trailer Trashy before they're posted. Yeah. So I guess that counts. You have to, though.
Yeah. I also like Historical AF, which was really fun. We actually swapped promos with them. And there's obviously the first podcast that I ever started listening to was Blurry Photos, which I still really enjoy. And then the guy that does that now has a new, like a quiz show with his wife called Quiz Quiz Bang Bang. That's really fun.
Ooh. That's fun. I also listen to This American Life and the TED Radio Hour from NPR whenever they do something that interests me.
This American Life's really fun and good for just long trips if you don't have anything else to listen to, because it's always interesting regardless of whether you're interested in the topic or not. Like, they managed to make it something that, I'm glad I listened to that, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Highly recommended.
I agree, Leah. They're great. I also like Unspooled. They're going through the AFI 2007 list. We talked about it a couple weeks ago because we talked about Forrest Gump and how they talked about it. I don't listen to all those, though, because most of those movies are old, and I don't care about old movies. So, but yeah.
I love old movies.
I like all of those.
And if anybody has like a podcast that's a listener, hey, give us an email. We'd like to swap promos or just listen to your show. I'm always finding new stuff because I work a desk job and I spend 80% of my time doing paperwork, and I like to listen to things while I do that. So it would be pretty awesome if you
I do too. So
recommended some stuff.
That's 10 minutes of what we're listening to.
Huzzah.
Oh, all right. Let's get a question here. Oh, this one's backwards. Hold on. From Pip. Leah, what was your most unexpected takeaway from reading the whole dang Bible?
Oh, God. There's so many begots. So-and-so begot so-and-so begot so-and-so. And at one point, you're just like, holy fuck, are we going to keep doing this? Because
it's like, look, Bible, I should figure some things out on my own. Don't give me all the exposition. Like, this is not a well-written story, God damn it.
Who sat down and was like, yeah, this is the important part. When, like there are three different, like, versions of the nativity story in the New Testament, and each of them happened in a little bit different of a way. But God damn it, we know Elimelech got birthed by so-and-so, and I'm just like, okay, guys, can we get the narrative part of it nailed down before we start adding, like, canon exposition? Anyway. That, and also Revelation is a terrifying fever dream that just freaks me out a little bit. Just lots of weirdness, and especially the way angels are described throughout the Bible is really, really scary. Because when I was a little kid, and I had the picture Bibles and all of that stuff, and I was like, yeah, angels, pretty, wee. And everybody's like, angels are so beautiful, and I want to, have a guardian angel. And then you actually sit down and read the Bible, and you're like, okay, like, they got eyes everywhere, they got wings covering their feet, they've got flaming scary swords, like, they're terrifying creatures. Why would you ever, I don't know, maybe that was just me, but angels are scary, and we really need to, like, calm down on the family tree. Just put, like, a graphic in the front of the book, have a family tree, like Lord of the Rings, like, you know, have that sectioned off, and then we can get with the story.
Just imagine if Lord of the Rings started with Frodo begat no one, but he had a nephew named...
that is literally the similar fuck.
Go ahead. Simblabla.
Cimmerillion. I can never say that word. Fuck me.
Nice.
That's basically all the Cimmerillion is family tree bullshit. But anyway.
The Bible is such a poorly written book.
It's because it was written by so many different people. And I mean, that's the way a lot of
it's boring
text.
as fuck.
No, it's not. There are a lot of very interesting, really cool details. And I know it bores you because you don't like anything that happened before 1985, but...
87.
Excuse me.
1985 can eat a dick, except for Back to the Future.
My point is like I said, there's some really interesting, good, cool, like, stories of the Bible, and I can see why a lot of, like, the old movie epics were made of it, but just a little bit of editing. That's all I'm asking for.
It's so boring.
I mean, granted, the Council of Nicaea did a lot of editing, and they edited out all the really good stuff.
Because it was of the devil.
Not necessarily, but the Apocrypha is way cooler than the canon Bible, but that's neither here nor there. I've read both, so yeah.
All right, are we ready to move on?
Yeah, that's all. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, Pip, I hope that satisfied your question there. Another from Pip, Leah.
Okay.
Silent movies, yes or no?
It depends. Now, silent movies, just to be watching silent movies, not a fan. It's just not my thing. But one of the most fun things that I've ever been to was so like my brother went to UAB for undergrad, and he was in like a percussion ensemble, and they
did a silent percussion ensemble?
No.
Oh, this sounds awesome.
They did a whole, like, they had a student that did, they wrote an orchestration for a silent film that didn't,
that's fun.
that the orchestration no longer survived for. And they did all of the Foley sound effects live. They did all of the music on marimbas and xylophones and all sorts of, and I think part of the steel drum band was part of that. I don't know. It was really, really enjoyable to watch the live music along with the silent film. So if it's something like that where there's a live orchestration, yeah, I'm totally down for that. That's really cool. But just like silent films on YouTube, not my thing.
No.
Which, I mean, I really enjoy from just like a film history point of view, a lot of the sets and how things were cut together. And yeah, I get it. But just to sit down and it being enjoyable for me, not really.
Did you see The Artist a few years ago?
I did not.
Okay, that one's good. I mean, it is a silent movie to be a silent movie, you know, for silent movie's sake. It was an awards darling thing, you know. And it's not completely silent. There's some speaking at the end. But anyway, it was fun. I enjoyed that. It was a modern silent movie. I follow a subreddit called R Silent Movie GIFs. Which is really interesting. And I don't like just scroll on the subreddit, but when something comes up, I'll watch the old silent movie GIFs because it'll normally be like Buster Keaton stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Doing really fun stunts.
The physical comedy and the stunt work and stuff like that, that's all just practical effects are some of my favorite things. Like I love a good practical effect when you can pull it off and make it look good. Like that's so cool. But like I said, it just... I'm not going to be the person that sits down and watches a ton of silent films. I'm just not.
Well, I've never really tried to watch a silent movie. I've only seen The Artist, you know.
Like one of the most upsetting parts of my childhood.
Oh, God.
I loved Disney movies as a kid, and that movie Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron came out, and everybody thought it was going to be a talking horse movie, and the horse never fucking talks, and it's awful.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, that's why, because nobody liked it.
There was no horse talking.
Yeah, it was like, yeah.
So was it a silent movie?
No.
Or just the horse didn't talk?
No, it wasn't the cartoony, like the animals talking. Because like if it's called Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron and it's about this horse, you're expecting it's a Disney movie. The animal's going to talk. It's going to be about like Aristocat style. And it wasn't at all. And the horses didn't talk. And there was like a narration at the beginning of the horse. And like that was it. I might be remembering this completely wrong. But I do remember as a child that it was just, I was mad about it. Like 10-year-old Leah was salty about that. But anyway.
Well, Pip, your answer is no, except in short 45-second spurts.
45 seconds.
That's about how long the GIFs are on our silent movie GIFs.
Oh, no. We watched the one that I was talking about. The performance was a full-length one, which was still only like 13 minutes, but still. So
the answer is no, Pip.
Sorry.
Except for in 45-second to 13-minute spurts.
Exactly.
So, sorry about it, but we're a little too modern for that sort of thing. Go ahead. You look like you're going to say something.
I was, but then I realized it's entirely inappropriate, so I'll just tell you later.
Go ahead. All right. Well, I think Leah's talking about how she likes silent pornography. Is that what we're going for?
No, it was about how I accidentally stumbled upon some silent pornography.
Oh, hey. Yeah, me too, Leah. It was a complete accident.
No,
it turns out it wasn't silent, just my volume was muted.
No, I was okay. So this was around about when LimeWire was a real big deal.
Hell yeah.
And I was downloading a lot of...
Oh, you mean like old porn that was silent?
Yeah, like legitimately like vintage porn.
Yeah.
No, I was downloading stuff from LimeWire, and I had downloaded like a bunch of audiobooks because I'm a fucking nerd.
I'm sure.
And then I was downloading Disney movies and stuff like that. And I was just and anyway, I thought what I was downloading was like and and what it was labeled as was the first Anne of Green Gables movie, the Sullivan Entertainment one.
That's what it was.
And I start playing it, and the beginning of it was about the first 15 minutes of Anne of Green Gable, and then all of a sudden it cuts, and it's like vintage silent porn reel, and I'm just sitting here going,
nice.
All right. And like even like the cards flash up and oh Pierre, do not, and I'm just like, and I'm sitting here going, oh my God, that is so much bush.
The title card came up, it was Anne of Green Labias.
I don't know. It was very uncomfortable, and I was like terrified that like I had downloaded some virus because now my computer had to be infested with porn, which isn't how that worked. But anyway, that's the story of how I accidentally downloaded Anne of Green Gables / silent movie porn.
Nice. Oh, Leah. I'm sure it was an accident.
It was.
I'm sure. Oh, God. Well, that's funny. All right, Pip. Well, there's your answer. In porn format, yes. Other than that, nah. We'll pass. We're just fans of big old bush around here.
So much bush.
Oh, gross. Okay. Well, I think that's enough.
All right. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's been way inappropriate this week, and happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, y'all have a great Thanksgiving, and we are going to stream Tailgate Tales when you hear this tonight.
Yeah.
So it's the Iron Bowl. It's the last one of the year. We're not doing anything else.
No, we're not.
So tune in for the Iron Bowl tonight when you hear this on Wednesday, which we're going to put out stuff on Facebook.
Yes.
So
Iron Bowl.
All right, y'all. Well, that's it. We will see you this weekend for the main episode.
Bye, y'all.